Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. So before I start, just want to put a little trigger warning out there. This video we are going to be talking about topics around pregnancy, infertility, mental health and things like that. So obviously if any of that is a bit triggering to you, feel free to skip this video. But yeah. So for today's video, a little bit different. Obviously I'm filming a different way, so I can't actually see myself filming. So I'm hoping I'm recording, hoping I'm in shot. But I just thought, having a bit of a chilled evening, Finley's gone to bed perfectly, all relaxed. I thought, let's have a little chat together. No pressure. Obviously, freshly washed hair, no makeup. We're just gonna go for it. So I thought today we could have a little sit down and a chat together. So I'm actually going to be sharing my story around infertility. So like infertility, pregnancy, and where I am at now with my secondary infertility. So my journey started back around, I want to say 2018, like end of 2018, beginning of 2019. So I have been with my partner since 2017, yeah. And obviously I got in a relationship with him and he already had a child. So when we first started dating, I think his son was around 6 months, but obviously because we were fairly new, I had no contact with his son. So the time when we were dating, the time we spent together was just us two. It wasn't until his son was about 9 months old when I got introduced, and obviously then it was like every now and then. And obviously as our relationship progressed and we become more serious, that's when obviously, yeah. So technically I was like a stepmom before I was an actual mum. So obviously it was a bit tricky to navigate, obviously starting a new relationship and then not long after stepping into the role of stepmom. I don't really class myself as stepmom. We've never really used that label, but when we try and explain it to other people, we do, if that makes sense. But that's a whole nother topic, which I can do another video on if you're interested, but yeah. So that's a bit of a backstory. 2018, 2019 was when we were having the conversations about how we wanted our future to progress. When we started talking about trying for a baby together, obviously we had Luke's son, obviously he was part of our family, but we wanted to build. Obviously, I was on the contraceptive pill. Now I was on the contraceptive pill, I want to say from around 17, maybe 18, I can't quite remember the exact. The reason I went on the contraceptive pill is because my first serious relationship and wanted me on the pill basically. So I went on the pill. So from the age of, let's say 18 till about 20, would I be 23, 22, 23, if I'm mathing right. That's how long I was on the pill for. So obviously when we decided that we wanted to try for our own baby, just completely stopped the pill. So I finished my pill packet, and then, so my pill packet was you had 3 weeks of the pill and then a week free of the pill where you had your bleed. So I finished my pill packet, I had my bleed, and then that was when I had no contraception. So I had my bleed and then I went my 3 weeks. Then my period was due and it didn't arrive, and we immediately thought, wow, first time we've done it. So obviously around when I missed my period, like a few days later, is when I took a pregnancy test, which was negative, which when you are actively trying to conceive and you get your hopes up and then you see that first negative test, it is one of the most heartbreaking things I have been through. Obviously it was our first time, so I just thought, oh, maybe I tested too early, waited a few more weeks, retested. Again, it was negative. It did get me quite down. It did make me feel like there was something wrong with me. Obviously, I felt like there was something wrong with me because my partner had been able to have a child with someone else before, so I thought, oh, it can't be him, it must be me. It did put me in quite a dark space, should we say. I felt very depressed. I felt very unmotivated. But we continued trying. Obviously, my period hadn't returned, but just kept testing, kept moving forward. That is when I started to notice a lot of hair growth in places it shouldn't be. Like, I still have it now. My neck, my chin, my upper lip, even on my chest, it's like hair growth. My weight gain. My weight has always been fluctuating for so long, but I did gain a lot of weight. I think my period was missing for probably about 3 months before I thought something's not right. So once I hit the 3-month mark, that's when I made a doctor's appointment. Obviously, I had to confirm I wasn't pregnant, go through all these questions, and I think they made me wait another 2 weeks to keep testing for another 2 weeks and see if it returned. Obviously, it didn't, so I had to go back. That's when I got sent for blood tests. Now, I have no idea why I was being sent for blood tests, what the blood tests were for, or what the results were. I don't know if I was supposed to know or what, but obviously no one had told me. Went for my blood tests, said I had to wait. So I waited. I think I waited a week, maybe 2 weeks, and got a letter to say I had to go for a second set of blood tests just because they were inconclusive, which is fine. Went back, had my blood tests, and then the result from them, I don't actually know. All I know is I then got a referral letter to say I had to go for, now hopefully I've got the term right, is it called, I think it's called a vaginal ultrasound. Hopefully I've got that term right. Basically it is an ultrasound, but it goes in. So it's not on your tummy, it goes in and looks at the insides. Obviously that was very scary to go through. Obviously it was around COVID time, so I had to go on my own. It was very uncomfortable, and I did have a bit of spotting after it. Basically, the woman that did the ultrasound, she was lovely. She basically said to me that from the ultrasound I had cysts on my ovaries. So once I had them scans and they were sent back to the doctor got back to me and said basically I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now, I didn't get a lot of information. Most of my information I was just from doing Google searches. I don't know if all doctors are like that or my doctors in particular weren't very good. But yeah, and she basically said to me, I've got cysts on my ovaries, I've got a hormone imbalance, and it would be very unlikely for me to conceive. Which obviously, as a young person, I was about 23, 24, being told that is actually quite shocking, considering since I was a very young age, I've always wanted to have children of my own and be a mum, so that was very shocking. From that, I was put on a wait list to be referred to, I think it was a gynecologist, to go through my options and medication and whatnot. Obviously at the time my partner was very supportive, but his mindset was, it will happen when it will happen. If it's meant to be, it will meant to be, which he's got a positive mindset, but it didn't reassure me, if that makes sense. I was very like, what am I going to do now? This is the only thing I wanted. Obviously this is around COVID time, so obviously everything was very slow. But with COVID, we were both on furlough. his son was out of school, so we were like homeschooling him. So I just decided to push it out of my mind and just enjoy our very warm summer for the COVID times. So very warm summer. So we had a lovely garden we played in. We went on our long walks. So I just forgot about it. We still had, but we weren't actively trying. I kind of just forgot about it. Come January 2021, that's when my mood sort of changed. I went back to feeling very depressed, very in the blue, very like, why is my body doing this to me? I decided that I wanted to dye my hair. I decided to dye my hair blue. Now, I don't know if any of this is linked, but got a box dye, blue box dye, so it's kind of like in the normal light it looked black, but in the sunlight it looked blue. So I impulsively bought it, dyed my hair, and it didn't take. My hair was still brown. Same day, went and brought some more box dye, re-dyed it. It stuck this time, but it kept fading really quickly. Like I had all these streaks. I think like the blue clung to the top and not the bottom. I was like, what is going on? So I don't know if this is related or it just didn't agree with me. But obviously my mood was different. And then, so my birthday's in February, and on my birthday, my period decided to make an appearance. So obviously, my moods were to do with my hormones rebalancing. But yeah, my period returned, which obviously was a bit devastating because I wasn't pregnant, but it was a relief because something my body's supposed to be doing, it was doing. So obviously I had my cycle, then it didn't return again, which obviously sent me back in a spiral. So I took the test, multiple tests, nothing. And I just thought, I don't know what's going on with my body. By this time, furlough was over, so I had returned back to work. And it wasn't until the April, one day at work, I just felt so exhausted. My whole body ached. It was nothing I felt before. I had gone home, obviously finished work, gone home, and I said to my partner, I was like, I really don't feel well. Something's not right with my body. And I think it was about 6 o'clock at night. I said, I'm just going to do a test. I don't know why. I just felt like I need to do a test. I feel awful. Took the test, and within a few seconds, there was a very clear line. And I didn't believe it. I was shocked. I was like, what does this mean? Does this mean we have done it? Does this mean we're pregnant? I could not believe it. So from then, I think for about a week, every single day, I was taking tests. I was taking the little cheap strip tests. I was taking, I think on Amazon, I brought like first responses. I brought Clear Blues. I brought Clear Blue Digitals. And every single one of them was positive. Now, this was a massive relief, but I didn't believe that we were pregnant. But we were. Went on and had my pregnancy. Now, if you want a bit of a pregnancy story, I can do that separate and go in depth. My pregnancy was pretty smooth sailing. Like, I had no morning sickness. My first glucose test was perfectly fine. It wasn't until later on in my pregnancy that I had to have extra scans because they basically said he was going to be big. So I'd have extra scans. I then got sent back for a glucose test because they thought, oh, maybe he's getting that big because of it. That time I then had what they call gestational diabetes. So then I had to go through that. And it wasn't until over 30 weeks is when I started having sickness, but it wasn't morning sickness. It was waking up in the middle of the night sickness. I had a lot of heartburn and a lot of pressure in my ribs. For my very last scan, I think I had to have a scan about 32 weeks. That's when I was told he was actually breech. And they made the decision that because he was breech and because he was weighing on the larger side, the safest option, I'm really sorry if you can hear that car, the safest option was for him to be a C-section baby. So he was born via C-section at 37 weeks. He was breech, his head was wedged in my ribs. He wasn't big, he was £7 exactly, or £7 and a bit. But when I had my C-section and they pulled him out, the relief from my ribs, I could breathe. Yeah, so my pregnancy wasn't bad. It was actually a really quite smooth sailing pregnancy actually. Recovery from the C-section, had my little bundle of joy. He is now 3.5 years. He will be 4 in November, which is absolutely mind blown. I can't believe I've nearly got a 4-year-old. But this brings us to secondary infertility. That's what I think it's called. So after having a very successful pregnancy, very successful baby, I was put back onto the contraceptive pill. So I was on it for nearly 3 years. Just under 3 years. I came off the pill in October 2024 because we had made the decision to try for baby number 2. Came off it in October, period disappeared. So we went through the same process, testing, all negatives. I thought, my body's done this to me before, I'm sure it will regulate itself. The day before New Year's Eve, all of a sudden my period returned. So that's what, October, November, 3 months. Can't really math. But it would return. I thought, wow, that was quick. It was a very painful period actually, which was brilliant. I thought, wow, it's returned a lot quicker than I thought it would. Had that cycle and it disappeared again. I have tested multiple times. Each month I do tests. It is still not returned, and we are now in July 2025. Yes, 2025. And it still hasn't returned. I thought I was okay with it. I thought last time, it took my body a while to regulate, get back to it, but it happened. So I thought I was okay with it. But recently, I don't think I am. I feel very deflated again. I think what they describe as like a ghost period, where you have all the symptoms, the cramping, the mood swings, the bloating, but no actual bleed. I feel very ashamed of my body recently. I have put on an extreme amount of weight to the point where it is so hard to shift. Tiredness. So when my symptoms first started appearing during the second time, around 2 o'clock is when I would like crash. That's when I was being my most tired. It hasn't really been that. It's more now that I cannot wake up in the morning. I feel exhausted. I will go to bed exhausted, sleep for full 8 hours, wake up just as exhausted. And obviously it's not ideal because I have a 3-year-old running around full of energy. But yeah, that just brings us to the current day. So I think I've been without a period for about 6 months now. I am a bit hesitant to make a new doctor's appointment just because I didn't really get the support I was looking for last time. Obviously last time I went on a waiting list for the gynecology appointment because I fell pregnant. I was completely wiped off of it. I think I forgot to mention that before. But yeah, I was completely wiped off the list. And obviously now I just feel like, because everything was kind of like pushed aside last time and I wasn't really given the answers or support, I don't want to put myself through that again, going through all the testing just to get nowhere. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I'm in a bit of a dilemma recently. I'm trying all these different things, trying different vitamins, trying different shakes, trying different workouts, meditations, anything just to try and naturally regulate my hormones. But yeah, so obviously that brings us to the current day. I will keep you updated if you're interested, and obviously if anyone else has been going through anything like this, I would love to hear your stories in the comments. And if you'd like to continue on this journey with me, please let me know, and I can post updates and share what I'm doing, and hopefully one day my body will feel right again. Does that make sense? It just doesn't feel right. I really hope you enjoyed this video, found this video interesting. I know it's been a bit of a ramble, but just trying something new and sharing my experience and story. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please interact in the comments if you can, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.